Good morning and welcome to THUB Capital, THE Investors Lounge, the podcast where we explore financial market dynamics, emerging trends, and the insights that shape successful investments. Each week, we'll delve into the strategies and analyses that drive our investment decisions. You'll get an insider's perspective on the factors influencing markets and the potential winners and losers of tomorrow. Subscribe to the podcast to stay ahead of the curve and make informed investment choices. Enjoy listening.
Welcome to THUB Capital's THE Investors Lounge weekly podcast. Today's date is the 6th of October. Let's dive into the week's top market news. European stocks hit record highs amid mixed economic data. European stock markets last week surged to record levels, with the Pan-European Stocks Europe 600 index closing 2.87% higher in local currency terms. The rally was fueled by strong performance in technology stocks and growing expectations of lower U.S. borrowing costs. Major national indexes also posted significant gains, as Germany's DAX climbed 2.69%. France's CAC 40 index rose 2.68%. and the UK's FTSE 100 index advanced 2.22%. Italy's FTSE MIB also added 1.43%, reflecting broad positive sentiment across the continent. In the Eurozone, headline annual inflation rose to 2.2% in September from 2.0% the previous month, driven by higher services costs and a slower decline in energy prices. Core inflation, which excludes volatile food and energy costs, held steady at 2.3%. Despite the uptick, European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde described the risks to inflation as quite contained, adding that with policy rates at 2%, the ECB is well positioned to respond to any new shocks that might threaten its targets. The labor market showed slight signs of loosening as the seasonally adjusted unemployment rate in the Eurozone edged up to 6.3% in August from an all-time low of 6.2% in July, while Spain, France, and Italy continued to report the highest jobless rates. Germany and the Netherlands registered the lowest. In contrast, consumer confidence improved, with the final reading of the indicator rising to -14.9 in September, reflecting consumers' stronger intentions to make major purchases in the coming year. In the United Kingdom, the housing market presented a mixed picture. Bank of England data revealed that mortgage approvals for house purchases dipped to 64,700 in August, breaking a 3-month streak of increases. However, the Nationwide Building Society reported that house prices rebounded by a seasonally adjusted 0.6% in September, following a slight decline in the previous month. Now our insight into alternative markets, navigating the opportunities and risks of space by 2075. A recent Royal Society report, which examines the potential impacts of space activities by 2075, refrains from making specific predictions. Instead, it aims to foster a dialogue about the future. The report suggests that space exploration's effects on industry, society, and culture could be as revolutionary as the industrial and digital revolutions. It seeks to equip governments, regulators, and the general public for the opportunities and challenges space presents, outlining potential trajectories rather than prescribing specific actions. Historically, human expansion has moved from land to sea, air, and now outer space. The upcoming decades promise increased exploration beyond Earth's orbit, with the potential for establishing permanent bases on the Moon and Mars. Innovations in reusable rockets, spaceplanes, and eco-friendly propellants are set to drastically cut costs and broaden access to orbit. These advancements could pave the way for large-scale orbital manufacturing and suborbital transport for rapid disaster response or security operations on Earth. Simultaneously, progress in robotics, AI, computing, and synthetic biology will reshape human existence. Space-based power systems, utilizing solar or nuclear energy, could power orbital factories and data centers, while also transmitting clean energy to Earth. Technologies for recycling, initially developed for space stations, could find applications on our planet, and resource extraction from the moon or asteroids might foster a circular space economy, thereby lessening Earth's environmental burden. The surge in space activity calls for international agreements on space traffic management and debris control, echoing initiatives like the Astra Charta. While moving energy-intensive industries to orbit could alleviate environmental pressures on Earth, lunar activities pose a threat to pristine environments and must be managed carefully. Ensuring fair and sustainable access to space for all nations, regardless of their size, is also crucial. Robotic and autonomous systems will remain at the forefront of space exploration, creating safe environments for human settlement. Orbital research platforms will leverage microgravity to develop advanced materials and pharmaceuticals, potentially leading to a new category of made-in-space products for terrestrial use. Enhanced research facilities will also democratize space research, allowing more Earth-based organizations to conduct experiments in microgravity. On the Moon, autonomous robots could mine resources and construct infrastructure, including subsurface bases for protection against radiation and temperature extremes. These bases could evolve into hubs for science, commerce, and further solar system exploration. Radio telescopes on the Moon's far side, shielded from Earth's interference, could aid in the search for extraterrestrial life. The emergence of a lunar economy, with a human workforce in such a remote setting, will necessitate new ethical and safety standards. International cooperation is essential for the safe and equitable use of space. Historical precedents like the Cosmos-SARSAT system and the Apollo-Soyuz mission demonstrate the value of such partnerships. However, the increasing number of state and private actors in space is heightening competition for orbital slots and radio frequencies, elevating the risk of conflict. The militarization of space, evidenced by the deployment of military satellites and anti-satellite weapons, underscores the urgent need for robust international protocols to prevent conflict and ensure equitable resource access. Technologies developed for lunar bases could serve as a blueprint for Martian settlements. The vast distance to Mars, however, will require greater operational self-sufficiency. Innovations in biotechnology for creating sustainable ecosystems could support a long-term human presence on Mars, with potential applications on Earth in waste recycling, healthcare, and food production. The prospect of humans being born on the Moon or Mars also raises complex ethical questions about nationality and physiological adaptation. Further out, autonomous robotic systems could build interplanetary stations for exploring Venus, Europa, and other celestial bodies, supported by advanced quantum and laser-based communication networks. By 2075, planetary sciences and astrobiology may provide an answer to the question of whether life exists beyond Earth. The discovery of extraterrestrial life, whether related to our own or of independent origin, would profoundly alter our understanding of biology. Conversely, a continued lack of evidence for life elsewhere would underscore Earth's unique position in the cosmos, highlighting the importance of preserving its biodiversity. Space activities are accelerating worldwide, driven by both commercial interests and security considerations. As the science fiction of the 20th century inspired us to envision a range of possible futures, we must continue to think creatively and confront the exciting and sometimes unsettling implications of our expansion into space. Early awareness of long-term trends will enable society to navigate unexpected challenges and make informed decisions to ensure the sustainable and beneficial use of both Earth and space environments.
Thank you for listening to this episode of HUB Capital, THE Investors Lounge podcast. I hope you found this content interesting and inspiring. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode and share it with your friends and colleagues who might be interested. To learn more about THUB Capital and our activities, visit our website, thubcapital.com. You can also follow us on our LinkedIn page. See you soon. All the best from the THUB Capital team.